Test. It's up and going.
Just you need original. Yes.
Green and red.
Because nobody read.
I started taking before I go. Not waving myself. It was on the.
Yeah, a lot of people saying you took my homestead off. At the beginning, I think you weren't coming. I was behind someone. Like, let's go around, go on that road.
Right.
I don't know, but they said this morning, 25 years old, average home in the United States, it's like $22,500 they would pay. You know, 25 years of you didn't use it.
And the interest in
He'll be here, he probably not even.
He was supposed to be here.
It's
I don't know if he can, he started it out. But the only major thing that I will, I recommend one of Joel's to speak on towards the end. Yeah. So hopefully,
I don't know how to so.
you may have actually, out there. I guess they did it. All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is 4:30, so we'll go ahead and get started. If you'll please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance by Scott, and then followed by a prayer from Kennan. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just ask you again to be with us, guide us. May the things we say and the things we do be pleasing to you and be positive and the betterment of the citizens of this county. We thank you and give you praise. Amen.
Amen. Hey guys, just in time. We just finished the prayer and the pledge. I think you're both over here. So. Yeah, the bell, did he, who bailed who out is what I want to know. Okay, so we have a ton of bookwork type stuff to take care of tonight. So lots of facts, figures, and numbers going to get thrown around. So we'll try to make it easily understandable. And I think all the liaisons have had a chance to reach out to these things, but we'll get started with the October minutes. Debbie sent those out a few weeks ago. Any additions, corrections, or actions on those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
So I have a motion by Kennon and a second by Bobby. Any further discussions or changes? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, next up, Mr. Murphy, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, council. I am here to request action on ordinance number 2025-5, an ordinance authorizing Henry County, Indiana to fund its Economic Development Revenue Note Series 2025 and approving and authorizing other actions in respect thereto. At last month's meeting, Lisa Lee from Ice Miller and Penny York from my office, and then Heidi Amspaugh from Baker Tilly were here and spent some time with you. Nothing has changed since that. And so we've gone through the public notice, public hearing, the Economic Development Commission, which is different from my organization, held a hearing and took action. And so it's back here for your final action. I'd be happy to respond to questions. But essentially this authorizes, if you approve it, this would allow the County Redevelopment Commission to provide a forgivable loan to NEO as an incentive for building in the industrial park. The estimated investment is between $7 and $9 million. The number of new jobs is 50 over a 5-year period. The average wage of those jobs are anticipated to be $22 an hour.
Just for fiscal clarification, these monies have zero impact to the county's general fund or any funds within the county. This is solely paid for out of the RDC funds. The RDC has already agreed to these funds and have these funds available.
Yes.
Thank you. Just want to make sure everybody understood here and beyond. So any additional questions for Mr. Murphy?
Say last month, or maybe Penny did, they're looking at building a new building. The shell building was not conducive, the current shell building that's available, or
Yeah, so the Shell building, they visited the Shell building in May. 2 reasons that didn't work. 1, we had already entered into a letter of intent to sell the Shell building to somebody else. And number 2, it was too large. And so I walked them outside and pointed across the street and said, why don't you build there? There is the opposite lot on 8 acres in the industrial.
and this is a company based in Australia that does work with Boar's Head.
South Australian company, one of their customers is Boar's Head. They sell food packaging products primarily to the meat industry worldwide.
Any additional questions or comments for Mr. Murphy? If not, any action anyone would like to take?
Yeah, I'd like to commend the RDC and EDC and Corey for finding a alternative incentive that worked well for the company as opposed to tax abatement. Well done, and I will make the motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Corey. Any other updates from the EDC or anything else we need to know for the good of the order?
I have nothing unless you have questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up, I do not see anyone here from the chamber. All right, so we'll move on to some of these transfers. The first transfer we have up is the park would like to do a transfer. I think, Bobby, you're the liaison at the park. Anything we need to know about this one? Okay, so they would like to do a transfer, $4,087 from general labor to equipment repair and $5,267.76 from general labor to building and equipment insurance. Any questions? I don't see anyone from the park here. Any questions on this or any action anyone would like to take?
Make the motion to approve.
Second.
Sorry, we have a motion to approve in second. Any further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, next up, we have an EMA request.
doesn't have a liaison.
That is true. I think we could, I know you have worked with him a few times. Shannon, do you want to speak on these or
I do
or
not.
Bobby, have you?
I think unofficially, because he wasn't assigned one, because I was involved as a commissioner, he's just used me as his liaison. Troy, if you want to speak on your transfer, you're more than welcome to do so.
We'll fix that this January, Troy, I promise.
Yeah, he sent me a message. He's like, I don't have a liaison.
I apologize that,
Down in the basement, I'm good.
eh,
So these transfers are just to help fund the improvements that we're doing in the basement of the Justice Center for the meeting room. So if you've not been down there recently, you're probably going to be up for a change. So any other questions about those?
no. No, I appreciate that. I know that's something that's needed to be addressed for a long time. So, all right, so basically I'll just read all these real quick. We request to move 1,500 from 3,016. All of these transfers are requested to be put in 2000.01. 1,500 from 3,000.16, $50 from 3,000.01, 1,100 from 3,000.13, 2,600 from 3,000.06, 1,200 from 3,000.12.
I'll make a
And-
motion to approve those transfers for EMA as written.
I think Scott was at a second. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. All right, so let's have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Sorry,
Sir,
there's
thank
plenty
you.
of folks out there that'd probably be happy to tell you that you're lucky to not have a dedicated liaison.
Okay, next up, we have a request from the Public Defender's Office. And I apologize, I don't remember who the liaison is off the top of my head for that one. Is that, yeah, is that
What'd you say?
Liaison.
No,
Li-
I'm not the liaison. Jay is.
Jay is? There we go, Jay. Sorry about that. Anything we need to know about this transfer, Jay?
Just my understanding was that they had missed the longevity of one of their employees, so they need to add that one in.
Okay. All right, so that's exactly what it is. They're asking for $1,000 transfer from investigative witness fees to longevity. Any further discussion or action?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right. Next up, we have the commissioners have requested a transfer of $98,000. Bobby, I believe you are the liaison for that one. So
Liaison for that one.
anything we need to know about this?
Not unless the commissioner wants to speak on it.
Mr.
And as a
Commissioner?
previous commissioner, at the end of the year, we were always having to transfer something from
This is
another
because
fund
of the raises.
Yeah,
because of the raises.
I kind of figured that, so this, yeah, well, I think we have to pay this. Statutorily required to and legally required to pay these numbers. So they're asking for a $98,000 transfer from work comp to social security, 19,000 from social security and 79,000 from to perf. This will cover the raises and the additionals that were required in both of those categories because of the additional raises. Any questions or actions?
Make a motion to approve these transfers as read.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Just write Scott down on all of those, will you, Deb? All right. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right. Next up, we have a transfer in the treasurer's office. I don't see our treasurer here. So he's asking for $251.94 from part-time help to miscellaneous supplies. Also transfer $315 and it, sorry, I did see that. That one's same. So if a transfer is done under the same class, the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, it doesn't need to come to the council just for clarity for everyone out in the universe. But if it goes from 1,000 to 3,000, or in this case, then it does require it come back for the council. So that all the council needs to take action on is the $251.94 from part-time help to miscellaneous supplies. Any thoughts, questions, or actions?
Motion to approve.
Scott?
Giving somebody else a chance.
I'll second it.
All right, gotta, we're sticking with the S's. Shannon's gonna second this one. So, all right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries unanimously. All right, next up, we have a additional, this is an additional appropriation. So these will take a little more time and a little more discussion. So we'll start off with the one from the Sheriff's Department. So the Sheriff's Department, I will let Shannon and Scott, because I know they're the liaisons for the Sheriff's Department, to discuss this.
Well, we've got them broken into a couple of pieces there based on the fund that they're paid out of. From the jail lit fund 1233, the Sheriff's Department is requesting 94,149 in inmate medical. And this will be news to them sitting in the back of the room. We have Fund 1174 that has a balance of $40,308.44 in it for medical care for inmates. That is where Social Security and medical are all paid into the county for reimbursement. So we would like you to use those funds to pay a chunk of that. That would leave $53,840.24 would be the additional appropriation for inmate medical. I will tell you that we tracked that during budget session last year, and everything we tracked pointed at over $800,000. And rather than budget the 800, we budgeted 650, hoping and praying that it would go down. We didn't make the 650, but we didn't hit the 800 either. So the request for $53,840.24 in jail lit for inmate medical. And there's $33,747 in additional request for utilities. And that is a missed water bill. We get a water bill from DOC and from GEO. And when the water was budgeted, it was only budgeted for one of those, and that makes up the total. That's $3,500 a month that we've been spending on that bill. So those two bills out of jail lit, and then I'll address the other one after we vote on that one. So I will make the motion to approve those two.
Second.
Okay, we have a we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? So we have, Shannon, will you give me the numbers again? So I tried to write them down. I got 53,008,
$840
840
and 24 cents.
and 24 cents into inmate medical from the 1233 lit correctional rehab facility lit.
Yes.
And then the 33,746.03 from the lit to the
To the
380
utilities.
jail
line.
fund for the utilities line.
It's not in the 380 fund. There's the jail utilities in the 1233.
Oh, there's a,
These are-
okay.
These are all 1233 accounts. These are just additional appropriations to the 1233 two line items.
Okay.
What? Other than Geo, what the water is divided between Geo and what? The water
DOC,
DOC.
It's just Geo. We only pay water to Geo, but it goes to Pendleton as the address, as you'll see.
I know I remember it was,
But Geo bills us.
don't we like buy our soft water?
We have soft
There's a
water and
soft water
non-soft
bill and
water,
a
yeah.
regular water bill. Yeah,
That's why when the-
So both of those are to Geo?
a week ago, when they had to shut the water off, the water was shut off at the jail because the jail gets the water from the prison.
Yeah, and that's just how the cities ran the lines.
Okay.
That's how the city ran the lines, basically. I remember when they were building this several. There was some reasoning to that, and that's why we didn't do that. I mean, Steve and Bobby probably were more intimately involved in that stuff, but I remember there was something quirky about that when we came to doing some budgeting things for the jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, but I've slept a couple days since then. All right, thank you. Any further discussion or action on these two items?
We have a motion and a second.
Yeah, we have a motion. That's what, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or action? That want to, all right. So hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, next up, Shannon Scott on the other two requests.
This one's in the 380 budget. It's also in the jail and part-time personnel and overtime were overlooked when calculating the raises from last year into the budget. And the 80,000 and 5,000 are the estimates to pay those part-time personnel and overtime through the end of the year.
So is this a request out of the general fund?
This is from the general fund, yes, in the 380 budget. And
So you guys know they're negative,
yeah, it's negative 10,000 now.
so. unless
And
you
this
have another
was-
way of getting the money, well, you'll have to do it because they are already in the negative.
On the 380.
Yes.
Okay. And this is because of the raises? Is that my understanding? That's what I want clarification for. Because that seems like a lot of just raises, 80,000. Because how big were the raises? Because that fund only starts, if one of you guys would like to speak on it, because that fund only starts at, that would be a big raise. I know the raises went up, but that would be like a 30% rate. What's that fund start out at? 200 and,
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
yeah,
It
so
was
that would,
bigger
that would be a
than most,
25+% raise. I don't think we did that big of a raise, so that's why I'm trying to.
Part-time was
It's-
though brought up to what the same dollar per hour that a full-time would be paid. So it was actually a little different jump than normal.
Yeah, it was a
And there's a lot of employees in that part-time line.
Well, that would make this number seem even bigger than sheriff. Because if it's,
I think what was it, like 16 something originally, and it jumped to whatever the full-time rate is now. So it was a significant jump. And I know we have, it's just not, we think of jail staff, it's just not, part-time, just not the jail. We do have some part-time court security officers as well. Civil process. And the most significant thing is definitely the raise. But we also, there's other part-time staff. We had one of our secretaries, I think, she was part-time, so. And all of the control room operators, they're all part-time. Yeah, so that, a 24/7 operation, and we're paying part-time control room operators. None of them are full-time.
so I guess that's my question is then, are we comparably hours to what we were running last year? Are there more hours being paid out of this line item, or they just comparable hours and this all boils down to the raises?
I would say, I can't give you an accurate statement on all that. I would just say that the raises are very significant. Whether it makes up the entire difference, I don't know. But it is quite a significant amount.
The only reason I ask is because historically the part-time has been set, like X amount of hours, and you guys, the departments figure out how to live in those hours. And that's why I was asking, because even at $20 an hour, $80,000 is a lot of hours.
Yes, yeah, I understand that.
So that's where I'm asking. I'm trying to understand, because I wasn't here last year for this, so I'm just trying to get in. I know you got some.
And I don't know if you have, in your conversations with Ann, I don't know if you have any other input.
I don't have the details, but I know the dollar amount was significant from a per hour. It was $5 or $6 an hour additional that was not budgeted. So, and I don't know the number of employees. I didn't get into the details. I looked at the $5 or $6 an hour, and over the course of the year, that amount makes a lot of sense. to
That's
me.
what I was gonna ask. Do you have approximation on the number of part-time employees that this might affect? I mean, give or take 10, I mean, how many?
How many part-time employees do we have?
Yeah, how many was affected by this modification? And I know, but number wise?
I don't know how many part-time staff we have. Sheriff, do you happen to know?
About 35, the being employed, that hourly raise was from like $16 an hour to 21 or so, about $5. So, by percentage, what is that?
That's a quarter.
Yeah. So those numbers it's basically the raise that was not figured in.
About 35. That explains a lot.
Okay, yeah, I think that answered that. I was just trying to understand where the big difference was for,
The part-time rates are $22.59 an hour, that's.
okay. All right,
The only question I have is to make sure, because they are part-time, and if you go over so many hours
Right.
across 52, they are considered full-time. I just want to make sure
Right,
that you're
no,
keeping them
we're-
under those hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stephanie does, okay.
okay. Any additional questions or actions on these two requests from the general fund? So this would come out of the, I'm assuming you're requesting it out of the unappropriated, or is there a fund that someone would like to take action to ask for the,
I'll move to approve the $85,000 to the 380 fund out of unappropriated funds.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. I guess my only question is Debbie, in this budget, this upcoming 2026 budget, I know that we did adjust for part-time wages. Will this be satisfied in 26 and we shouldn't have to come back? Should be satisfied and wouldn't have to come back at the end of this year then. So it should have been taken care of in this budget. Perfect. Okay. That's my only comment. Any additional comments? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, motion carries. All right, next up is the Highway Department. Bobby, yep, that's what I thought. Bobby, the Highway Department is requesting $526,000 to be transferred to the,
Council reclassification.
council reclassification from county general, unappropriated.
So this is for, we all have heard about, or should have, Bridge 115 on 400 South is currently closed. And if anybody watched the commissioners meeting, today, Commissioner Dellinger has been working with SJCA to try to come up with a fix to get it open. It'll still be opened, with a weight limit. But it will be, I'm not getting into the details of, because I'm not in construction, something with epoxy and blah, blah, blah. But it should at least, and they'll be doing bridge inspections every year. So this 526 is to do the engineering piece of it, whether we go federal aid or whether we pay for it ourselves. If we pay for the engineering piece, that will knock potentially up to 2 years off of, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, 2-ish years off of the time frame, the 5 to 6 year timeframe for a federal aid project. I know at our last meeting or a special meeting, we did make an adjustment that could potentially bring in another 1.7 million, and we earmarked that for roads and bridges. But this will at least get us moving forward, working in tandem and parallel with what the commissioners are doing, so we can get that bridge at least opened and starting the process of getting it replaced. Did I cover all of that to the 4 gentlemen sitting in the front?
You go.
Do you guys want to say anything or comment on anything about it? Nope, nope.
Right now, our fix is open.
Mm-hmm.
So I was waiting on
Yep. Mhm. And Commissioner Dellinger and I have been in way too many conversations about this bridge over the last 6 or 8 weeks. And, you know, we're moving in parallel, so, they can at least get it open, and hopefully we can at least start the process to get this bridge fixed, quicker than what is anticipated.
What was your comment, Bobby, about council reclassification? I didn't quite.
Because it's coming out of the general fund, we cannot put it directly into the highway fund. So we will put it into the council reclassification
Okay,
fund.
gotcha.
Okay.
What time frame do we look at? You said 2 to 3 years yet, Bobby?
Well, for federal aid, Joe, do you want to speak on that? For federal aid projects, and Joe can clarify, federal aid projects are can be 4 to 6 years, on federal aid projects. 6 years, yeah. Well, I was trying to be nice. So that's going federal aid. If the DLGF approves what the council, and I don't know, Debbie, if you've heard anything on that, first of the year, and that additional 1.7 million comes in, hopefully, my hope, and I can't,
1.2,
or 1.2,
1.3.
okay. Obviously, I'm only one person, so I can't say what the council's going to do, but we did earmark it for the highway department, roads, bridges, that type of thing. Hopefully, we can at least start, and maybe, I don't know if we could pay for it ourselves or not, but even at that, let's say money fell out of the sky, it's still going to be what, Joe, a couple, 2 or 3 years for that bridge is fixed, even if we fund it fully, not go federal aid.
Yeah, because you have to get permits. Permits take a while.
Permitting takes a while.
Yeah.
So while with this epoxy and the thing, all the technical stuff that those people have talked about that I can't regurgitate. I'll talk to you about computers all day long, but bridges, I can't. They seem to be that it will be a good fix to at least get it open for now, so traffic can go through it and then have the bridge inspected every year. That doesn't mean that at some point down the time, they don't go, sorry, we're gonna have to close it again, but they're working toward that. Did I get all that right, Steve?
So
Thank you.
I watched the commissioners meeting and I think I heard you ask the question, Steve, do you have the money for this? And the answer was yes, 300 and some $1,000 in a maintenance fund,
Mhm.
right? Remaining.
It was,
No, that was the balance that was left in a maintenance fund to be able to use.
We're looking
So
at
that's,
50,000 roughly to do the epoxy and.
okay.
And that's
So-
temporary to get it open and at least with a weight limit on it. So the
Sure.
traffic can travel.
So this $526,000 is not to do that epoxy.
no, it's for.
This is for the matching funds for doing the engineering.
$1,000 to that. They would be more than receptive to take that money. That would help ease some of the other burdens for other culverts that we're closing on other roads right now.
Yeah,
So
no,
if you want to do that, I will not say no to that.
I understand. My only concern and question, I'm on board with this. My concern is timing. $526,000 into reclassification in the 2025 budget, that's going to go bye-bye in 7 weeks.
well, and
Actually,
it's
less
under-
than that
It's under
because-
contract, right?
You have to pay that money out now. That
Yes,
money's paid out now.
it goes away.
Right.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
So-
and
December 31st.
the auditor's office cuts their last checks.
Yeah, we got 4
Mid-December?
weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah, you've got like 4 weeks left to cut a check.
So
So is this money going to be spent in 4 weeks? That's my
or
question.
should this be a 2026 additional?
It can be under contract in 4 weeks, but it won't be actually physically.
Okay, then we don't need to do this then.
And,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I was not aware that it had to be paid out by the end of the year.
Yeah, it has to because
I was told it had to be under contract, not paid out.
reclassification is not a
Non-reverting fund.
non-reverting
Right.
fund. And I know we talked at our last meeting, Joe, and you were talking to us about it, and we mentioned even that we freed up that $480 thousand in the insurance fund that you could earmark for this. And then hoping, which I'd say we've got in talking, I know I spoke with the DLGF at the auditors conference. I think we've got a pretty good shot at getting this additional and then coming back and Because if we did this additional today, unless you wrote a check in the next 4 weeks, then this is a moot point anyway.
And I apologize to you guys. I
And-
didn't realize it had to be spent by the end of the year. I
Yeah,
just thought it
this-
had to be
this
under
is
contract.
all a
so-
moot point anyway, but having that 480,000 as a backup plan, at least to go ahead and start, then we can talk about this again after the first of the year. If we, because we're going to have to do an additional, if we get the 1.293 or whatever it is, we'll have to do an additional anyway,
So would it,
because that's not in the budget. So we'll have to revisit that first of the year anyhow after, and the DLGF told me the same thing Debbie said. It could actually be a little into January because this is the last year that any county is ever able to have the Mother May I do this on the tax levy. So a lot of counties turned these in. So they are going to have to work through them. But yeah, this, if we don't spend the check in the next 4 weeks, then there's no, this just all is for moot.
So now can I have the 50,000 for the epoxy?
I think we'd have to advertise for it.
Yeah, I don't think we can
Can-
because this is the last time we can do that.
Can
Now,
we
that
table
being
this
said, how
for
much do
60
we have
days?
in-
Is that?
50,000.
Because-
can go up,
You can go down.
And it's Fort Bridge 115,
Mhm.
which is that bridge, correct? So yes, you could do the 50,000.
Do we have that much in our reclassification anyway? I was going to say, I think we have 90,000 in our, I know you guys do
We
have
spent
about
some of it.
Never mind.
300,000. Sorry.
Yeah, no, they're not. no.
So
We
Never-
having,
You can't do that in 4 weeks anyway?
Have it spent,
All right. So,
so
have part of it done. but we
60
won't
days,
have it.
90 days?
so
Take-
guys, thanks for coming for the meeting. Come back
Yeah,
and see us
see ya.
next year.
Mis-
Sorry.
Mr. Chairman, can we
I
table
apologize
this?
to you guys.
I'd say
90
we're gonna
days
have to
or-
completely redo it if we're talking about a totally different budget. We can't just table it because we'd have
Just-
to re-advertise it, right?
No, you can't
Okay.
do it.
We'd have to re-advertise it. So actually, I need a motion. Do we need a motion to deny? I think we do.
I'll make a motion to deny.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Well, this epoxy increased the 17-ton weight limit. Thank you for. the
Okay,
10 seconds.
so any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Good news is wrong, the bridge is going to be open.
Okay, sorry, guys. Thank you.
Make one additional comment.
Sure.
I don't really follow how budgeting and things work, but if next year you decide in the next year's budget to appropriate this money, it can't be spent that year either. It's a couple of years. spent.
Well, I think the discussion was after we talked about the additional, if we are approved this 1.29-ish guesstimate right now in additional levy, the discussion was to create a non-reverting fund.
Hmm.
And that non-reverting fund doesn't disappear on December 31st into the general fund. So that's the solve for that, Perry, that's the way to, we have several funds that operate that way. And so that is the fix for that magic act on December 31st at midnight. Okay,
Mhm.
any additional questions? Steve, any, Joe, Braden, you guys all good?
I
Any-
know if we don't do something sooner than later, we're in a bridge deficit in our county.
Well, and I think that's why we voted unanimously to do what we did, because we understand your plight. We're trying to figure it out. We earmarked it not just for Bridge 415, which was the original discussion. We did it just as in general bridges, roads, and
Yeah.
everything highway department related and that way we could set it up to have more flexibility. So not just Bridge 415 would have the ability, 115, I'm sorry. Too many numbers tonight. Not just that, I guess, Kenan.
With 115 being a priority, because it's my understanding there's another bridge not too far from that that's showing similar issues.
Next county road over.
Next county road over, there's a bridge showing similar issues as this one.
Not to mention, I already have, I believe, 9 small structures that have been given to me, and they're still doing inspections on those that have been marked for replacement ASAP.
Who gave them to you?
Engineer.
Engineering inspectors.
Okay. I forgot my question. Wait till you get my age.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. All right, next up on the agenda, we have the additional appropriation for the health department. That Angela is requesting $1,395.45 from Health Maintenance Fund to Education and Public Info. Bobby, I think you are the liaison for Angie as well. Any comments on this?
Yeah,
This
this-
fund went away, so she just needs to
Move it.
appropriate this money so she can. develop it.
Yeah,
That's
this
all.
is, okay, makes sense. Appreciate it. Thanks, Debbie. Any additional thoughts or actions on this?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Wait.
Go ahead, sorry.
Of course I have. Number one, I thought of what I forgot a while ago, but I won't bring that up now. Listen also to the commissioners meeting where we are big shoes to fill, but she did, Angela did come in as the replacement for her. And I know that person, big shoes to fill, but I think Jason will do fine. That's a big hole in county government, losing Angela Cox, so we wish her all the best. I brought that up because it's the health department.
Absolutely. Angela has been an amazing advocate for her department, for her county, and frankly, for the state. She's got not big shoes, a massive size shoes to fill. So, okay, any additional questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries unanimously. All right. Next up, we have PSAP additional request. So they're asking for additional, I believe,
Yeah.
Shannon, you are this one, so I'll turn this one over to you. Brian, send over the additional.
Yeah, Brian's here, so I'll let him
thought
come
there
up
he
and talk
is.
if he would like to.
Just throw him the box, Steve. He doesn't even have to,
Yeah, there you go.
just throw him the box.
So for the overtime, I'm looking back at my original email here for the personnel services, 53,000 of that's roughly overtime. The other 10,000 is roughly to cover Social Security, Medicare and PERF on that 53,000. A lot of that, as we talked at budget time this year, a lot of that 53 is actually paying out holidays at the end of the year, whatever holidays the employees haven't used, we pay out. I think we have 17, 18 holidays, so times every full-time employee for 12 hours because they work 12-hour shifts. Sometimes they use them for a day off on a regularly scheduled day and it doesn't cause overtime, but outside of that, it's overtime. So that's where a lot of this comes in. And then, as you know, we just have been having a lot of overtime until we get fully staffed. But good news is we're getting there. We've just noticed in the last month or so, progress on that. Honestly, for this month in December, we have way more people working and way less overtime. Some of our trainees are getting near the end of training. So that's cutting down on overtime. We're actually looking at the schedule now thinking, wow, what do we do with all these people? So that's a problem we haven't had. So we hope that continues and makes a big difference into next year. Knock on wood, as long as we don't lose anyone. So that's what that part is. And then the 25,000, I mentioned last month, that's actually a little bit less than I thought it would be because I have some funds remaining, was able to transfer some, but that covers the radios. Commissioners did approve, purchase of 6 portable radios, pending funding. Motorola did have a promotion going on where we could trade in some old portable radios. So
Okay.
that's what that portion's for.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Brian. Anything you'd like to add, Shannon?
No, I think that's covers it well, and I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the council? All those in favor?
Aye.
Saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously. All right, next up, we have one from the prosecutor, and so to don't know if it has the fund numbers exactly on here, but my question, it acts like he's, from what I'm understanding of this, he's wanting to transfer from the unfilled position to the overtime line. Is that not in the same class?
I don't know if he has an
No,
overtime
he's
line.
not really asking, he's not asking to move it. He's asking, can he take money from the legal secretary line, which is open, and pay the girls overtime?
In lieu of comp time?
In lieu of comp time, yes.
Okay, so how does the employee handbook give us latitude in a general fund position to approve that? Would be my question to our county attorney.
That's my recollection of what happened in front of me.
Okay. So I would recommend if we do decide to do this, we put the caveat that Joel checked to make sure that's appropriate. Okay, but I mean, okay, anybody else have any questions or thoughts on this? I mean, I understand the premise. I think we have kind of done this in other instances. The park comes to mind where we paid an interim person at the park different funds with other funds. And I think this is something that we've done in the past as the county in a few different instances. So, anybody have any thoughts?
I will make the motion to approve contingent upon Joel reviewing the
I'll second.
handbook.
He beat you, Scott. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hey, motion carries unanimously. All right, next up, we're discussing the residency stipend for the in the sheriff's department. And Joel, I'll let you give your opinion on the question that was sent over on this.
Sure. The question you presented to me. was
Turn
whether
on
or
your
not-
mic, Joel. It's not on.
Yeah, the question you presented to me was whether or not the ordinance as drafted covered the chief deputy position. And the way it is drafted, it says that merit deputies are eligible for the residency stipend. The chief deputy position is technically outside of the merit system. So as worded, the chief deputy would not be eligible for the residency stipend. You can certainly change that if that was your intent when you passed it, that would also cover the chief deputy. But based solely on the wording that was used, because that position is not considered a merit position, it would have to be my opinion that it's not currently subject to the residency bonus.
I would suggest that when that was written, the chief deputy was included as a merit officer.
Okay.
With the intention, and the budget was budgeted as such. And I would propose that I will move that we add the chief deputy to that ordinance.
Second.
What's the process for that, Joel?
You would just have to move to amend the ordinance to make clear that the chief deputy position is included. And I guess the only question I would have is the chief deputy position can technically be anyone. I mean, it can be anyone that the sheriff chooses. So would you want to limit it only to persons that are the chief deputy, but also were merit deputies
previous
immediately
deputy,
before
yeah.
appointment?
I
That
mean,
I guess would be my only question you would have. For instance, if the sheriff appointed someone that,
was not.
was
a
never
merit
in law
deputy.
enforcement, which could technically be someone that holds the chief deputy position or has never worked for the sheriff's department, would you want to still include that person?
I would amend my motion.
Okay.
To include must have been a previous merit deputy.
Okay,
You okay with that,
Oh, yeah,
Scott, for
that's-
seconding as
yeah.
well?
Either way is fine. I mean, either way would be legal. I just wanted to make sure we were clear
Yeah,
on that.
I completely agree with what. you-
second that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, anytime a motion's changed.
All right, any further discussion? I mean, I was not in office when this was passed, so can somebody give me the high level on why this was something that was put in place?
But the residency,
Yes.
I was not on the council at the time.
Shannon, give us his motion.
Yeah, it was a mess. There was a lot of discussion back then about use of vehicles and vehicles traveling outside of the county, hiring deputies outside of the county. And, there was also, questions about compensation, and not, keeping up with the compensation back then. And so the residency language that for that ordinance was drafted prior to the discussions at budget time and the whole wage discussion and raises. And rather than increase raises, we decided to pass the residency bonus as an option to provide compensation to those officers that live inside Henry County and keep those vehicles local. That was the intent. That was, I don't remember the date on the ordinance, but it was last August, maybe.
So did that have success in its intent, or did anyone move from out of county into county because of that, or any of those things? Because I mean, 2,500 times 26 deputies,
No,
we could buy somebody a brand new car every year.
there's not 26.
How many are there?
There's, yeah,
28,
but how many
sorry.
live in
But
Henry?
I'm just saying, we could buy everybody,
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, it does.
it works. It's,
So, let me tell you what kind of success that, all of the, additional pay and the steps that the council has taken to, get wages up. I can tell you, the success of that. We just had a hiring process and, we still have in the process, after the physical agility test, after the written test, we have 25 people applying to this department, nine are laterals. So let me put this in context. The state police have been making a lot of changes in shrinking down their academy length of time for laterals. We all know they're throwing money like crazy to the troopers. They're starting at like 74,000 a year. When they hit 15 years, they're at 111,000. And so they just ran a hiring process. They marketed it like crazy. They garnered 14 laterals out of the entire state of Indiana. We have 9 right here at Henry County. So people are paying attention that our council and our community is doing very well for our officers. And that is why our application, again, with laterals, 9 laterals, is up so much. That is why the morale is up so much. And I just would give the council a pat on the back and say thank you for all that you've done, because it has made a significant difference here at the sheriff's office.
For those out there and those my age, could you redefine or define laterals again?
Yes, laterals are police officers who are currently working for other police or sheriff departments. Yes, and also have the Tier 1 certification from the academy. So it's a big deal. I'm glad you asked for that clarification. Having 9 laterals is a big deal.
so I guess, Sheriff, the question I had was, this program particularly was put in place to try to drive those who live outside of the county to move into the county for less maintenance and wear and tear on the vehicles. Did that happen?
So I don't believe that is exactly why that was put in place. I think Shannon just covered several topics on.
Well, that was one of them, and the other one was pay. But
Correct.
now that the deputies all receive 100% of the average in technical, they're going to receive 103, 4, 5% of the
Well,
average
I'm
if they have this stipend.
I'm glad that topic came up. So we are paying 100% of the WIS, which is wonderful. And I appreciate that. However, we are paying 1 year in arrears, and officer salaries jump at a much higher rate than the other positions in the county. That's just a fact. So
But I think WISC also came back and told us that has slowed significantly.
it has slowed, but it's still
It's-
significantly higher than other positions. So by just by the numbers, we're running 1 year in arrears. And so we're off probably about 4%. Well, I'll give you the exact average. 6% over the last 5 years has been the average increase for law enforcement, per WIS. So the other positions average around 2%. So the officers still lag at about a 4% rate, per year.
I'm not sure that's possible
Well, it
because
is
we pay by
possible.
the
It's
numbers,
actually-
not
it's-
by the, if we paid by $1,000 across the board like used to happen, then yes, I definitely see that as an issue. But since we pay by the percentage of the average, that if the average went up 6% for the sheriff department, then they got to the 95% of the average of the 6%, where the other departments got the 95 of the 2%. That, since we pay off of that, that's not, the math doesn't math that way.
So Councilman, it absolutely does math that way. We're paying 100% across the board right now.
Yeah.
We're 1 year in arrears. So if law enforcement jumps 6% and everybody else jumps 2%, law enforcement is being paid 4% less than the others. That maths.
My comment, Shannon, correct me if I'm wrong. When we got the update from Wagner and Shealy back in early August, they told us what it would take to get up to the current projected market rate. And I do remember polls was 9.2%. And all the others like LTC and comms and all comments and all those, the highest behind the projected market was 5%. So in that particular case, polls being 9% under market at that time, there is something to be said for what the sheriff said, which simply means that the market increase for the poll positions were greater than any of the others. When that came out, I know there was some controversy when I shared that information.
So I
I-
guess the bottom line is we have this action that we need to discuss, and the only action actually that's here is not the validity of this program, I guess, as much as whether or not we pay this chief deputy. So we need to circle back to that. So is there any further discussion in particular about paying the chief deputy this stipend? Or actions that anyone would like to take?
We
I think you
already have a
took the action
motion
and a
and a
motion.
second.
Sorry, let's go back to that. Any additional discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of passing to amend the ordinance to include the chief deputy as long as Shannon put it in his motion, as long as the chief deputy was a merit officer prior? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. So, all right. Last on the agenda is to approve the salary ordinances that Debbie sent over to everyone about a week or so ago. Any discussion or actions on this topic?
There are a few corrections that you made, correct? Just the one?
That's the only one that I knew of.
Okay, that's the only
And
one I
I'm
saw.
assuming that's what the correction was. I don't know.
Oh, it was, because I sit on the PC. That was corrected. Yeah.
I mean, they have to notify us for us to know that. Okay, no, that's the only correction that I was notified of, unless somebody else needs it.
Okay. I guess I didn't see the correction. Can you give the correction?
That Bobby Plummer was left on the planning commission, wanted her removed in the correct person.
Okay,
Well, I can tell you, I haven't been paid. So if it was on there by mistake, Bobby Plummer's not made any
No,
money.
it was in our system. We
Yeah.
just missed it
Yeah.
on this piece of paper.
Yeah,
all right, perfect.
I can assure you I wasn't paid.
All right, so any additional thoughts or questions?
I will share that I know that creating that ordinance is a tremendous amount of work going through all that stuff. And it is very time consuming and very tedious in the numbers. There is always opportunity for there to be errors and we'll hope that there are none. But if there are, we'll correct them when we get there. So thank you to the auditor's office for putting it together, and I will move to approve.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to approve in a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, so we had, I think all the department heads have had a chance to speak, but there are a few departments still here. If there's anything additional you want to bring up?
I want to say one thing.
Yes.
We talked about that. Thanks Stephanie Whitehead. She keeps all the salaries in 3 systems. This, payroll, and financial. So
She does a
Stephanie
good
does
job.
all of this. So I want to thank Stephanie for doing it.
Definitely.
100%.
No. Okay, appreciate it, Debbie. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stephanie. Additional comments, questions from the council? Yes. Ken, shock.
Drum roll. As you know, I think most of the council, Addie, we're meeting with Addie tomorrow with a handbook update. Addie Rooker from Wagner and Shealy's been working on that. That's at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Ready 2.0. Steve, are you on that with me? That's Friday. I think we have like a $500,000 and there's about 6 different entities that's applied for that on Ready 2.0. That meeting's at noon on Friday. For those who like Italian, Hagar's Hope has a spaghetti supper this Friday from 5 to 7. That's at the Presbyterian Church on Church Street. I was going to ask you, is there an update status on the Baker Tilly study for the Henry County Youth Center financial study? Does anybody heard anything since our last meeting? Okay, so that's in progress then. Okay, our PC meeting, Steve's also on that, is next Thursday in here. I found out today, so it's going to be standing room only, I'm sure, because we're going to take up the data center / technology center. And also Rumpke's back for their expansion of that facility, the landfill. Food and beverage, I know last year we kind of did a IOU from food and beverage on some things near the end of the year. As of today, we should be bringing in $867,000 to $875,000 in food and beverage in 2025. So that commitment we made last year is more than covered. And since Shonda wasn't here, the Christmas walk is on Thursday, December the 4th, 5:30 until whatever. And I think you had to get back with them that they couldn't really use the inside of the courthouse because of renovation that was in question. So those are my comments and updates.
Awesome. Thank you, Kenan. Lots to go there. Anyone else have anything else to add?
Motion to adjourn.
I've got a motion to adjourn. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time.